Welcome to the Goalbusters Expert Peak Productivity Tips podcast, where top business experts get just 7 minutes to answer 5 rapid-fire questions about what they do and how they stay productive. Each episode is packed with actionable insights to help boost your efficiency and achieve your goals. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to peak performance.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Robin J. Emden, and I'm an accountability coach and author of Get Resultsology, The Science of Getting Stuff Done. I work with people who own their own business, no boss, distractions everywhere, and never enough hours in the day. Together we cut through the noise, sharpen their focus, and follow through on the big ideas that move the needle. That's what I call the momentum formula. Do it today, profit tomorrow, and repeat. So if that sounds like the kind of breakthrough that you've been looking for, then you're in exactly the right place. And speaking of being in exactly the right place, I am delighted to welcome our guest expert today, Natalie Trice. Natalie is a publicity expert, media commentator, and founder of Natalie Trice Publicity. With nearly 30 years of global experience, she helps founders, authors, and thought leaders secure purpose media coverage that drives real impact. Known for her strategic mind and award-winning guidance, Natalie blends sharp editorial instinct with a deep understanding of legacy building. Based in Devon in the UK, I'm allowed to say that because I'm in Devon too, the 3-times author lives with her family and 2 dogs near the coast in South Devon, in fact, and loves a coffee and good book by the sea. So do I. Probably by the same bit of sea as well. Natalie, welcome to Goalbusters.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and such a lovely introduction.
You're very welcome. And we must have passed each other at some point, but I didn't recognise you. I'll wave next time.
But you will now, yes.
Yeah, and then you can run away in the other direction. All right, I'm waffling on. Shall we do the questions instead?
Let's.
All right, I'll get the clock up on the screen. And there it goes. Natalie, could you tell me, please, who is your ideal client?
Oh, my ideal client is, my ideal client is someone who has a lot to say, but they are quite often scared of saying it out loud in public. So it's people who are experts, they are authors, they are visionaries, but they're scared of the press. And I love working with them and guiding them through the process and actually showing them how impactful and powerful it can be.
Fantastic. That's very clear. A very interesting answer. Yeah, I can't say I'm very fond of the press myself, so that's an interesting topic you've got there. All right. So you've mentioned the problem that you solve, but maybe you could expand on the kinds of problems that you regularly have to solve for people.
Yeah, of course. So obviously we live in a very social media, AI-driven age where there's a lot of noise. So essentially, I help people to stand out so that they're no longer tap dancing in the village hall, but actually rocking out on Wembley Stadium. And actually, when you can build your visibility at a higher level, not only does it give you confidence, because you start to get that dopamine hit when you see yourself on the bigger stages, but you get seen and usually taken more seriously.
Oh yes, dopamine and we go way back. Yeah, I love that. Very interesting reference to it as well. Okay, brilliant. So what is one valuable free action that the audience can implement that will help them to solve this problem or problems?
Yep. Go to the supermarket. Go to the supermarket and go to the newspaper and magazine aisle and actually look at places where you could fit in the press. So it's kind of like going into a shop and picking anything to eat. But if you don't like it, it's not going to fill you up. So actually having an awareness of where you could fit on pages is going to be helpful. Totally free, quite fun. And it gives you just that background information so that you know where you fit.
Yeah, the newspaper aisle in supermarkets, it's quite well hidden these days, isn't it? It's not in your face as much as it used to be.
Which is good, because then you can stand and read and no one knows.
Fair enough. There speaks the voice of experience. So now that we have a better understanding of what you do, Natalie, let's dive into goal busting, which is focusing on how to maximize productive time to achieve business goals. Could you share any tips or advice for someone looking to improve their productivity habits?
Yeah, the first thing is get a VA. So that is one thing. I have a lot of ideas. I've always got something new to do. I have huge number of ideas. So she keeps me in touch, but also I block my time. So my job is obviously extremely fluid. I get hundreds of media requests a day, literally, and overnight because I have global clients. And so actually blocking my time, which took a while to do, to into those things, even down to my dog walks and gym, everything is prescribed, and then color. For me, it's color, as you can see from my background. So it's a Google Calendar. I have everything blocked out in color. I have reminders, and yeah, that I just about stick to, and it does make me way more productive.
Fantastic. And I can say I have seen a photograph of Natalie's dog, very cute as well. So definitely I can see why you'd want he or she would need some
We do
walks.
have two. Yeah, we do have two. One's big and one's small, but they look the same.
Okay. All right. So that's brilliant. Thank you. So finally, what should I have asked you today that I didn't? And your answer, please.
Oh, what did you ask me today? I think probably it's probably about doing my own publicity. So although I've worked in publicity for 30 years, and I worked with people like Cartoon Network, Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, a lot of the big global brands, Epson, Hewlett Packard. Actually, before we moved to Devon, my son was born with a hip dysplasia. So he was born without a properly functioning hip socket. And my career kind of went on hold because we had so many surgeries. And that's when I wrote my first book. So I figured that if I had no support, other people clearly didn't have the support either. So that turned into this kind of mum on a mission. And I used publicity to turn myself into an orthopedic surgeon, pretty much. Wrote my first book, and it means that I can empathize with clients because I know that a lot of them come to me and they're somewhat hesitant about being more visible. And I can understand that kind of vulnerability because when you're talking about your family, you talk about your son, you're talking about things that are very personal, then it can be quite worrying. And I can see people's faces as we talk, and I'm like, it's fine. We don't look at the comments. You don't need to worry about anything else. But if you can flip it round and you can actually look at the impact that has, insofar as we now have a global network of thousands of people who are navigating hip dysplasia, and we have, you know, we've helped save families, we've helped done a huge amount of things, as well as getting my son healthy hips, so he skateboards and plays rugby and all of those things. So I think that's the thing, is that I've done it myself. And I never suggest to clients that they do something that would either impact their legacy in a negative way or something that I wouldn't do myself. And so I think it just gives me a slightly different dimension when I'm working with people of actually, what is the purpose of doing this? Why are we actually saying this? Why are you airing your dirty laundry in public? Is that actually going to help just to get a quick win in a newspaper? So,
Okay. Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah, that's very interesting. I just want to swing back, if I may. Thank you for sharing that with us, especially about your son. But thank you. I just want to swing back. When we talked about going and looking in the supermarket at newspapers, you've been in the industry for 30 years. It's
Hmm.
changed beyond recognition in those
Hmm.
30 years. The 30 years ago, you would be like you've gone into the Victorian era in terms of the changes that have happened. What about the virtual newspaper aisle online? People obviously are very cognizant of social media and the news
Hmm.
outlets on there. What could they do there that you
Again,
recommend that they would do?
read, look, if you've got an idea, you want to be in the Guardian or you want to be in the Times, wherever it is, just consume. That's the biggest thing you can do, is you can consume where you want to be. And that will kind of tell you, okay, that is where I could potentially fit.
Okay, brilliant. Look at that. We did all of that in 7 minutes, and I squeezed in a cheeky extra question. So I always try to do that if there is a little bit of time, because I think that adds value as well, and broadens our understanding of your offer, which is fascinating. Thank you,
Thank you.
Natalie. So I
Thank
do
you.
have one final question, which is
Hmm.
how can people reach you? That's part A. And
Yeah.
part B of my final question, two questions really, is there like a valuable free resource they could get from you? And as I always always say, that's quite a cheeky thing to ask, but I'm not really being cheeky. It's actually a very practical way of getting a better understanding and a flavour of your offer.
Absolutely. So you can find, there's not very many Natalie Trices in the world. A quick Google will bring me up probably first. But so my website is natalietrice.co.uk. I'm Natalie Trice across all socials. And if you go to my website, there is a download of the first chapter of my book, PR School. So we have that on there. PR School is a masterclass in self-publicity. So while I do people's PR for them, I also coach and mentor people so that they can do it for themselves. So you can read the first chapter and get more of a feeling of how I work, what I say, and it'll give you some tips on what you can do to get started today.
That's fantastic. So that sounds very interesting and a very achievable thing to do as well. So thank you again. Natalie Trice, thank you for doing Goalbusters.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It has indeed. And remember, everybody, keep goal busting and make your future self proud. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Goalbusters. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, rate and review it on your favourite podcast platform. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're ready to boost your online profits, skyrocket your productivity, crush procrastination, and see a positive change in your bank balance, all within just 30 days, this is your opportunity. Take my free 5-day challenge at www.skyrocketyourproductivitychallenge.com.